How you guys doing? This is Mike from Mike's Random Thoughts. This is off the top episode. Because this episode, look, this isn't meant to be flashy. This is not going to be overly produced, okay? This is just myself taking some time out to talk to everybody directly, all my listeners and readers. This is, however, a end of the year show update, a channel update, and to be honest, for the first time in a long time, a life update. And honestly, I felt like I owed that to my listeners and readers. Now, if you've been here for a long time, I sincerely want to say thank you. And if you're new, welcome to this channel. If you stayed through with what has probably been the most uneven 2 seasons that I have ever had, I want to say I truly appreciate your patience with me. I know it's been difficult. Now, this last 2 years, it has not been a normal 2 years for me. I mean this creatively, mentally, spiritually, and even physically. And instead of just hopping on here, pretending like everything is fine, I wanted to take some time to talk to everybody straight up and let you guys know what's going on. So let me start with the obvious question, and I know it's already being asked because I've already been asked it. Is this 5-part series that you did, is this going to really come out? Yes, it is. For the first time in probably over 5 years, I actually have 5 full episodes recorded, completely done. They're sitting and waiting in a vault. They're just waiting for me to let them go. Now, this has not happened since the early days of when I started this show. Now what I'm doing is I'm trying to decide on how I'm going to release them. You know, do I release all 5 at one time? Or do I release them individually? And I got to say, there are real arguments for both. Now, if I drop all 5 at one time, you're going to get the full narrative. There will be no waiting. There's going to be no cliffhangers, right? But if I release them individually, each episode, that's going to give them time to like breathe, you know, to be discussed. And as always on my channel and on my blogs, to be debated. So I'm going to ask you guys directly. Let me know in the comment sections. Do you guys want me to release all 5 at once or one at a time? Look, either way, they're going to come out. But here's where things kind of got complicated, okay? I know, right? Every single time. While I was halfway through the production of this, something actually changed globally. And I got to be honest, most people did not even notice. And if they did, and they're in the industry, they're not talking about it. New social media enforcement is here. New intellectual property rules are here. And I got to say, the most aggressive artificial intelligence copyright detection software I've ever come across is here. And before anyone says, yo, Mike, that does not affect you guys amateur podcasters, you like bloggers and stuff. Look, let me explain something. It actually does affect everyone. What used to be considered, and it would fall underneath community commons, or AKA considered fair use license, right? That has been quietly removed. And this happened around 2 years ago. Platforms, basically, they started automatically switching the license around. There was no warning. There's no option to change it back to what it was either. Like you used to be able to switch it back. They took that option away. Now, one day what happens is you're being compliant, right? But the next day, your account or your channel is going to get flagged. Now you add artificial intelligence into that system mix. Look, let's be honest. Artificial intelligence does not care about your context. It does not care about your commentary. And it does not care about your intent. It only cares about detecting and punishes what it deems that is not right. Now what's going to happen is you're going to get hit once, maybe again, and then maybe another time. Now your account gets marked. Your reach is going to drop. Your content will stop being recommended. Now, after enough hits, your work is simply just not going to move anymore unless you hop on and you manually intervene and do it yourself. Now, they're going to give you some options, all right? You can either delete your whole video, you can cut the clip, or you can mute the different sections. Now, either way, that content is not going to move on its own. This isn't speculation. I have tested this theory out myself. Censorship, folks, it did not stop. It has evolved. Now that it's being automated with artificial intelligence. Now the United Nations has actually openly called for more censorship on false information. Public figures like Hillary Clinton even have openly discussed criminal penalties for false information. So let me ask you guys this, and let me ask you guys this honestly. Who decides what's false information? I actually see a divide coming amongst artists, and I actually already see it happening. There will be three different categories. And this is three different categories of creators. You're gonna have the elite and the mainstream, right? Then you're gonna have the middle tier creators, and then you're gonna have the underground artists and creators. Now, the elite, they're always gonna be protected like they always have. The middle tier, they're gonna be controlled because they want to make money. The underground tier, we're gonna simply be erased unless we learn to adapt. And adaptation, it does not mean selling out, folks, okay? It means learning how to survive. Look at the media today. Conservative media even. Is it not all starting to sound the same? Like host to host? Liberal media? We all know that's been the same thing. Look, even within those groups though, people are actually attacking each other now. Why do you think that is? It's because deviation is not allowed anymore. Both sides are being bought. Both sides are being sold, and both sides are very limited on what they could discuss or what they could show. This is not conspiracy theory anymore, okay? This is just business, as they call it. So halfway through this season, I had to make some decisions. I could adapt now, or I could get crushed later. Now, that's why in this season, some of the earlier episodes, you guys did not get the bonus features that people were used to. I used to make like mini documentaries attached to my episodes. That's not because I didn't care about my listeners or readers, because I sincerely do. That is just the ugly math of this industry. And if you're an underground artist or creator listening right now, you guys already know what I'm talking about. If you're to be honest, you guys know what I'm talking about. So let me talk about something kind of personal. My faith. Now, since I accepted Jesus a couple years ago as my Savior, I did feel compelled because something changed in me, right? I felt that, and it wasn't my personality, it was not my curiosity, it was not my willingness to ask hard questions. I'm always going to be willing to do that. I always have, I always will. But my foundation, right? I felt the need to put out Christian content whenever I got saved. So let me be very clear. I am still going to produce faith-based episodes off and on. This is not going to stop. All right? And this is due to the fact that I have never been one to just compartmentalize my life to fit in. I don't just pretend like parts of me don't exist to get along with other people. I've always spoken my truth. So why is that going to change now? And yes, I know I've lost subscribers. Yes, I know I've lost listeners. And if you listen to my testimony series, honestly, that probably should not surprise you. Because right now, offline, I'm actually deeply involved in church and faith-based work. I actually hope to get more involved in faith-based work. And as an artist, I've always spoken from where my heart is or where my mind is. So naturally, that's going to come out in my podcasting, my blogging, and my writing, right? So with that being said, I keep saying, I actually do deeply care about my listeners and readers. Now, when I looked at the reports for the end of the year, the graphs, the numbers, the comments, I realized something. It was time for me to step back into the world that built this show and blog. That world is in the following: true crime, history, mystery, and conspiracy theory. Like debating all these. To my longtime listeners, thank you for your patience with me. The last 2 years has not been easy. I've been dealing with a lot of spiritual battles, mental health issues, physical health, and let's be honest, family obligations. This is considered real life issues. That doesn't mean that I abandoned my show or blogs in that time. It means I had to handle what needed to be handled. So I know what you guys are wondering. So what's going to come next? Mike, what are you saying? What are you going to do? Well, I'm planning on talking about things like I always do, and honestly, it's things that people don't like talking about. Historical narratives, taboo subjects, uncomfortable theories. Things like, is Tardia real? What's the truth about certain historical figures that a lot of people don't like to discuss? Some people, I got to be honest, they already don't like my theories. Yes, I've reached out to some already. That's fine. It always has been. Like I said, has that ever stopped me? Absolutely not. I've always said if you don't like one episode, wait, I'll have another one coming up real soon. And believe it or not, even the Jesus special that I've done, I have some pushback on that. People told me not to release it. They were afraid that it's going to confuse people, you know? But let's face it, man. My show has always talked about the uncomfortable truths in different angles. That's not changing. It's what I built this show with. So I did have to take some time, though, this past year, or not 2 years, for personal reasons. However, during that time, I tried to keep the show and blogs moving. But, you know, some things, they really had to be set right. Those things were health, family, and life. Those are obligations. So going into this next season, I will have something for everyone. My Christian listeners, yes, there is faith-based material coming. My longtime listeners, true crime listeners, history listeners, conspiracy theory listeners, there's going to be new material coming for you guys. And even possibly live interviews, okay? Now, this will be, if I could pull this off, this will be real conversations, coffee talk style discussions, okay? And yes, research into next season, as you guys know, has already started. Some of these topics, though, they're going to make people feel uncomfortable. And that's all right. It always has been. So with that being said, I just want to say thank you for being here. Thank you for staying along this ride. Thank you for actually growing with me with this channel. And please subscribe, comment, and share. Try to check out the blogs on Facebook, True Social, Twitter, any other places, Instagram. Because I hope that we can actually grow these shows and blogs again like we did before. Now, with that said, the next episode is going to be coming out soon. And I want you guys to let me know what you think. And with that being said, I'll see you guys real soon for that Jesus special. And that most likely will be coming out probably within the next couple days to a week, okay? This has been Mike. I hope you guys have a good day, and I'll see you guys for the next one.